Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're gonna have some real talk today. I wanna just chat with you. I noticed a creeper coming in on the comment section, and this fine young gentleman has a YouTube channel, and he has been known, and there's many of these people that have been known on YouTube and other social media outlets to really keep trying to hype up the real estate market, right? And you guys all know that I've been talking about the correction that is coming and we are in, and I've been trying to explain how slowly it goes and how the emotions change in the buyers and the investors and even the sellers, right? During a real estate cycle turning, right? I've used many examples of when I was invested very heavily in the early 2000s and then was liquidating my entire book in 2006. And I've tried to really teach people, but there's so many people that didn't get into real estate until 2010 to 2015 and have found themselves with $10, $20 million worth of real estate, and they just know it all. Well, the funny thing is, I found those exact same investors, albeit there were much less. There are fewer investors that made that kind of money when I was doing that back in the early 2000s. And the reason why is because we had a different type of Federal Reserve Fed rate policy, let's say. And but those people thought that this would never end. As a matter of fact, it's really famous, was made famous in the movie The Big Short, when they went to the mortgage conference, the conference where all the banks got together and were just pumping up mortgage-backed securities. They were just raving about how paper was doing so well. All the loans being put together, it's securitized and then sent into people's pension funds, things like that. And it was like, it's never going to end. It's never going to end. This is prosperity. And that's how people think. A lot of time, they think that it's never going to end. It's called normalcy bias. Well, when I was getting out of the market, fellow investors thought I was nuts. I was absolutely crazy. And I kept pointing to the Federal Reserve with their dot plot plan, raising rates incrementally, 1/4 percentage point or 25 basis points about every quarter. A couple times they skipped that it literally almost looked like stairs going up from 2003 to 2005, I believe was the last one, maybe mid 2005. And everyone thought I was nuts. You're nuts. And I kept explaining something very simply. All right. And oh, you have to remember too, back then we had ninja loans, all these crazy loans, right? That's what everyone says is different this time. No, we traded that boogeyman, that reason for people thinking everything was gonna be great because they were giving all these negative amortization loans. The 3-1 arms are going crazy, all that stuff, which they thought would keep new buyers coming into the market. Well, today, what the ninja loans were yesterday, today were pension funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, all these funds coming in, big money, institutional money coming up to buy up real estate. And that's never gonna end. It's never gonna end, ninja. You're wrong. But now it's ending. And the pension funds and and it's hard to explain right now in this short video, but pension funds don't just go out and buy houses. They do business with companies that's all they do, right? They pick up the houses, securitize them, and then sell them to the pension funds, or they manage all of that for the pension funds, right? And you've just seen that come out in the news where I'm going off of memory, but Blackstone came out and announced that they're going to stop buying. Well, it's actually not them. It's a company that they own, that they purchased a while back, that does all that for them, right? So we're already seeing that stop, just like we saw the ninja loans stop, the NAGAM loans, all that kind of stuff. So you get people in social media that are like wanting to pump this stuff up. Why? Because they want to pump their own book. They want to, sell you their products. They want to, if they keep you in a state of euphoria, and this is great, and I'm not saying there's not great deals out there. There are 1% deals out there. Problem is, they're not in places I would want to buy, and that I would not suggest you to buy. I mean, they're literally out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a lot of issues with them, right? The problem is they don't want to believe that, and they've seen prosperity. But what I've seen, because I've lived through this, like literally been arms deep into that market before when it was exploding, and then when it was crashing, I was watching all the people that were euphoric. Well, now we have a whole new batch, and this group of investors that are investing in real estate right now are so entrenched and deep because they've only seen prosperity because two Shemitah cycles. The one in 2015 didn't happen because that's when the Fed started raising rates and bolstering the dollar's value. And so they have seen 2 years, just about 14 years of total prosperity because of easy money from the Federal Reserve and other central banks around the world. And now it's coming to an end. We are in what's called a currency crisis, a currency collapse, a currency cycle. We're getting a whole new currency issued to us. That's the mama of all cycle corrections. That's not just stocks. That's not just real estate. It's currency, which affects all asset classes. And it will not affect them all equally. But the Federal Reserve just came out the other day, and we're seeing pain. We're seeing sales coming to almost stopping. I mean, I've been interviewing real estate agents that I used to work with, that I still work with a little bit, and it's amazing. They have never had this many listings in their life at one time, and they also have no buyers. Sales are stopping. And the Federal Reserve, we saw a pretty good correction in all the markets, stock markets, this last spring going into summer. And the Federal Reserve, even with that, says we're not stopping. Now, I've told you before, the Federal Reserve will never truly be able to get control over this inflation because they don't have the cajones to do it, because they would have to run the Federal Reserve rate, Fed funds rate, well over into the double digits. And they're not going to do that. The only thing that's going to fix this crash, because it's going to crash either way, is a new currency. And a lot of people are going to lose on that. Well, including a lot of real estate investors. What they don't realize is that you can only tax people to the point at which they revolt, and you can always raise rents to the point at which they don't pay you. And as of right now, landlords should be waking up to the fact that 1 in 6 households are late on their utility bills. And repo rates on vehicles are exploding. That should tell you something. What's next? What's the next bill that they don't pay? Especially if they think the government's there to help them and keep them in the house and defend them against the big bad boogeyman, which is their landlord. I'm not telling you to go run out and liquidate and sell. I'm telling you to pause and look at your portfolio and say, is there something I can clean up here? Portfolio management in real estate, most people have no concept of. In one way, and a friend of mine the other day liquidated 3 rentals, and he now owns 1 rental cash and his home cash. And he is sitting there grinning at the top of his savings account right now. Because he goes, yeah, I don't think that real estate's going to continue to appreciate because the Federal Reserve is going to keep raising rates, which is going to raise mortgage rates. And banks are going to continue to price in risk. They're going to ask for more and more from you, like points, like bigger down payments. They're telling you right now, we don't believe the market's going to continue to go up too, but yet the landlords, the real estate hustlers that have found a lot of success in the last 10 years are just not paying attention. That's the problem. When you start to get wealthy, it sort of overtakes you. And I know this. I have to go through resets all the time in my own life, in my mind. As a matter of fact, I'm trying right now to do one, a reset in my mind, because you get on this sort of cycle and you don't realize that you are now part of the problem and you're headed towards that brick wall. I hope you got something out of this, because you really have to be careful with who you listen to. Listen to investors that have been through multiple cycles. It's very, very important. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty impressed. There are some millennials that are out there that have just crushed it. They're worth, 20, 30 million bucks. And they are out there warning now, like, it's changed. But when you watch their videos, they say it's changed in the thumbnail to get you to watch, and then they go, but I'm still buying. What does that tell you? All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. With that, I'm not going to repeat myself. The Real Estate Ninja is out.